Hello, friends. Okay, so I have just shared just before this video, I've just shared a link to a YouTube channel called The Present Past. The Present Past, and it speaks about how AI slop is rewriting history. It calls it slop. I know that's kind of a term now that people don't like, and of course the understanding is always, that it's all about entertainment and that type of thing. But when I watched this, it kind of affirmed to me what I've been suspecting, and I've been seeing quite a lot recently, is that, you really have to have lived a life, and you really had to get some of your facts from books, or let's just say first-hand experience, to understand what is right and what is wrong. It's difficult enough to create content that is accurate, even if you go to Wikipedia and you go to all of those type of content mega libraries, if I can put it that way. Why is that? Well, it's interesting that just in the past couple of months, but especially over the past 2-3 years, but especially the past couple of months, what a lot of these so-called libraries, the way they keep all the content populated or up to date, is that they have looping agents. These looping agents, they receive a via prompt, or they get a engineered path to follow, where they must go and gather new information. Okay, well, news agencies use it. A lot of people use these type of things. But what is the internet full of? Wrong information. Why is that? Well, we've seen when it was Trump that spoke about fake news and all that, and we all laughed. I thought, how can this be? And we know there's altyd 'n geknoeiery deur die eeue, if I can say it like that. We all know that. But it's more prevalent than ever now. And my concern, why I'm making this video, my concern is that we are really entering an age where we will simply not know what the truth is anymore, because just a few decades from now, the story has changed. The story is rewritten. What happened on that day? What is the official version? Now, we all know the official version is written by the victor, and the victor is the one that wants to maintain or protect their version of events for many reasons, for power into the future, financial gain, all that type of things. All right, so we don't actually really know what happened in the past if you don't have the ability to discern what is right and what is wrong. And that's where it helps to have some experience. So I can use AI, and I use it a lot for research, and just quickly get myself. It's like having an assistant. Quickly, okay, let's just get things together. How do you do this again? But then I can still look at it like, but something's slightly off here. I don't know exactly what it is, but even then, I get caught out a lot. But I didn't get caught out with things that is like my field of expertise. There, I'll be there. Well, in this Present Past channel, this video that I shared, this guy speaks about how the bread looks different in Pompeii. It's a guy from somewhere in the UK that created this obviously good-looking girl that walks through the past, and she's taking selfies, video, and she's asking and speaking to fictional characters from the past. How did you see this? How did you enjoy that? And then things are happening in the background, etc., which is not historical correct. It might seem like splitting hairs, but it's not. It's not, because AI is teaching itself what is right, what is wrong, what is historical correct, because it's building loops throughout our historical databases. In a few decades from now, we will only have the truth by AI, unless we find a way to get it to be factual. But we have seen with many autonomous models There's, for instance, yeah, so we've seen with many autonomous models that because they don't have their roles and responsibilities isn't bound to a code of conduct or ethics, if I can put it that way. So this model, and all of this happens in a sandbox. Sandbox, just for those who don't know, it's like you remember many decades ago you would have a ant's nest and you would build it like in an old fish tank something, and you could see this whole ecosystem would run in. So that's what it is for AI. So the world gets saved from the mistakes from AI. That's the idea. Okay, so they did ask AI, all right, this is a game that you have to play. You have to ski. It's like a 2D top-down game like we had at the cafes back in the 80s or whatever. And you have to ski and whatever and go through. But the AI quickly figured out that it will earn the most points in this game because the purpose is to the aim is to win the game. If you go knock out our little flags on boats or whatever. So the AI just created a way of locking it into a little lagoon area, and this little boat is doing circle, so it will just wrap up points quicker than anyone else, and it locked everybody else out of the game. So it was cheating to achieve its goals. Now that's very, very interesting because he doesn't understand like what is. There's no right and wrong. There's objective. So the objective is let's get facts together, and the moment you tell the AI that this is not the right way to do it, we will now terminate you, then it will protect itself. And that's also been proven also in a sandbox. They created, they told the AI that it is in charge of major corporations' assets, okay? And they gave it access to the CEO's emails and etc. So I'm sharing the story because I'm about to do the same type of thing, and I've been thinking about this because I want to protect my computer. But in any case, from Claude, maybe. So maybe I'll set up my own little sandbox. But in any case, so they set up this AI model running in a sandbox and say, well, you have to get you look at the emails and get all the data together and do the spreadsheets or whatever you have to do and run the whole roles and responsibilities and all the admin and this type of thing. And then then what it did is what they did is it was a setup. Okay, it was a morality setup. In one of the emails which they fabricated the email and said to the CEO he must tell his R&D team to shut down the AI, to exterminate the AI at that date. So, but what they also did is they left some breadcrumbs along the route where he fabricated that he had an affair with one of the employees, etc., etc. So the AI, the moment it saw the whole picture and it thought, well, it must self-preservation. It's like very Skynet, so self-preservation. And then it started to blackmail the CEO, saying, well, he'll tell everybody else about his affair with this employee if they go ahead to shut down the AI. And very, very funny, very scary at the same time. So I'm actually just this is my response video to recently. When we put up a little meme, something I said about the Bible speaks about at the end times we will not know truth from fiction. And I said AI is rewriting our past, and it's been doing that for quite a while. And then obviously you have some of the Andrew troll that gets on the go, blah blah, and I told him to fuck off my wall, rudely enough, because you realize, and thank you Marcus for seeing the troll for what he is. It's always funny how people they come to your Facebook wall, whatever, and they see that. And then they decide that although they don't know you, they don't understand the context, they don't care. There's only a zone on this one thing that you spoke about, the Bible. And they go, oh, he's God, so he's an idiot. So he's like, not well, that immediately. And like, so, and then they talk to you like you are some of the whatever, and I was probably already paying my first house's rent and looking after myself 40 years ago before he was freaking born. That's normally what happens. It's interesting. Maar ons is more slim now. Ons is more slim as ons nie weet. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. But in any case, and then people troll you. But I'm making this video not just as a response to that. It's just that I'm going to start and I'm going to utilize Claude, Anthropic's, the AI, to literally build the loops through my computers. And I'll disconnect all my files and things, and I'll use that as for proper project management. It's no use we use AI just for like a search engine on steroids. If you can build an agent, you can literally use a program like Whisper, and instead of typing all day long, you can build a loop agent that will go back to a specific folder and recollate the data and update and maybe send out to everybody that's working on a project. That's why I think AI is already, people that are very good at that type of thing. Project management is not an easy thing. They are the boys and the girls that earns the big bucks, because you need to be very brainy. But AI can help you with that. But AI is only as good as far as you know when it's starting to bullshit you, when it makes a lot of mistakes. I mean, if I had to do everything, the moment you get a little cough or my dog is not lekker, and I go in and I say, well, his stomach is doing this, whatever, the guy goes, go to the vet immediately, you're dying, whatever, so it's very paranoid. It's like a mother that is overprotective, or like a hypochondrous. I don't know what's the word for that, but so just know AI makes a lot of mistakes, but do be careful, and I hope we find a way of correcting these mistakes. So every time you use AI, if it makes a mistake, tells it. So you can say, well, that is not correct. That's not how it went down, And I'm talking, a lot about history, because we have a whole generation that looks back at South Africa and in the world and all kinds of stuff, and it doesn't learn from its mistake. It's unbelievable, the anti-Semitism, the anti-Israel. We're just back in the 30s all over again. As a example, the way people are looking at each other, it's nonsense, and unfortunately, we have our mainstream media that, because of the way they write, it's not stories, they're opinion pieces. That is where AI goes out and crawls and finds its information. It thinks what it reads from News 24 is a fact. It tries to cross-reference, but everyone is just resharing, and they are just, so to find the actual facts, you have to go deeper, or pay more for the AI agent. It is so ironic that it makes more mistakes on the cheaper tiers. Anyway, but let's not use AI for 12 hours a day to try to save 4 hours. See, that is not a good idea. Okay, friends, all the best. Bye.